Hello and welcome back to Save Ourselves, or if you're new here, then hi, I am Aparna and I make videos about self-help, productivity, bullet journaling, organization and much more on this channel. In today's video, we are going to be talking about being intentional while going with the flow. Without further ado, let's get started. If you saw my latest video, you'd know that for the first couple of months of 2022, I was sailing where the winds of life were taking me. I'd let them take their own course and I let myself be. I'll be linking that video and my newsletter issue associated with that video in the description below. Don't forget to check that out. Anyway, looking back on the past 2 months of 2022, here's what I've realized so far. Life is going to take its own shape and form and take you along unexpected routes. Going against its flow will bring nothing but friction that wears us out eventually. So, the wiser choice here is to subscribe to the cliched mentality of going with the flow. Let me explain that further. I'm a firm believer in dualities in life, and I think nothing comes in a standalone format. It always comes with a but or an or, a however, sometimes even an and. Let me explain. The wiser choice is to go with the flow, but that doesn't mean that you can't chart your own path. Our job is not to simply sit in the boat and let it toss around when the ocean rages. Our job is to learn to row the boat and keep ourselves from getting seasick while the boat is sailing away. To put it without metaphors, what can benefit us is to approach life mindfully and intentionally while also not resisting what it brings too strongly. Our job is to accept it as it comes and then move forward despite that. We can pause along the way, take our own time to process things, that's not a problem. But going with the flow ultimately means that there isn't much room for stagnancy. I don't want to just get overly philosophical here, but rather I'm going to leave you with 5 tips that are applicable for this very topic. Number 1 is to document life as you go. We often realize big changes or shifts in us or our circumstances in retrospect, that is, when we are looking back on them. Whether it is through photos, journal entries, planners, whatever calls out to you, documenting life is a great way to introspect later on. Number 2, find what brings you joy in your daily life. It can be the smaller things, rather, let it be a small thing. As we grow older, we start realizing that focusing on the smaller things brings us more fulfillment. Often, bigger moments seem more pleasant in their anticipation rather in their passing, but that's not the case with smaller, less anticipated moments. Number 3 is to practice mindfulness. The past and the future are concepts we construct and they are not actual realities. The only real moment is the present, the one that's happening right now. It is a big concept to wrap our heads around, but it's pretty exciting when you think about it. Being present, being immersed in the task at hand, being attentive to the people we are with, that's a great way to start with mindfulness. It's a practice that needs a lot of work, but one that's very, very worth it. Number 4 is to be curious about who you are. All the great teachers will tell you how important it is to be a student of life and for life. It is when we know ourselves better is when we can begin to unlearn our own conditioning and broaden our lens of looking at the world. The whole concept of save ourselves revolves around looking inward to project outwards. Finally, number 5 is to think of your bigger story. We can go about each day without thinking or doing much. Time is going to pass nevertheless. Thinking of your bigger story is like finding your North Star. It gives your life a direction, a path for yourself to chart. And that is what we want to do while going with the flow but still being intentional about it. I hope that you found some meaning, comfort or learnings through this video. I've also made a newsletter on this topic, so if you're interested, the link is in the description and you can go and check it out. As always, if you like this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up or leaving a comment down below. That always means a lot to me. Don't forget to subscribe to the Save Ourselves channel for more such content. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.